What's going on, guys? Alex here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys a full guide on how to play cycle decks. I'm going to be explaining my thought process. I'm not the number one best player in the world, but I did finish 1950 in the whole entire world last season, so I have some good experience with cycle decks. I did play a Goblin drill deck to get that finished, and we're going to be playing this deck. It's a cycle deck, but the same principles in this video apply to other cycle decks. Like if you play Hog 2.6 cycle, you can also use these tips and tricks. So let's hop into some games. I am Grand Champion right now, and the season just started. 32 days left, but I'll hop into some games at 9,000 trophies, the highest trophy count, so I can explain things a little bit better for you guys. There's less pressure, but there's very good players at 9,000 trophies. I've played against plenty of players who have very good finishes, higher finishes than even I have, because it is the highest trophy count after all. But at the start of the game with cycle decks, you want to start out with cycling cards in the back. You can cycle a log. We can also go Tesla here to protect. He did use the Night Witch. Our Tesla will take one hit, but we want to find out what the opponent's playing, and that's usually what you want to do first in this game, guys. So he is going to have the Night Witch. We're going to go ahead and use our Goblin Drill too. It would be nice to get the King Tower activation. I'm going to cycle the Goblin Drill, and I'm also going to use my Evo Bomber. I'm going to use the Skeletons right here to get that nice King Tower activation here, guys. We're going to take a couple of hits, but it's not too bad. And now that we know what the opponent is playing, we can make a nice game plan, a nice strategy, and think about what we have to do. So because he has such a heavy beatdown deck, we're going to want to be pretty good at pressuring him here, guys. We're going to let that Royal Ghost go, and we're going to see what our Mighty Miner does on the left side. We force out Tornado, and since he has such a heavy deck, I'm going to cycle my Ice Spirit in the back, and we're going to go Goblin Drill opposite lane. We're going to use our Goblin Drill like this in a trick spot, and we're going to use the Bomber like this. It's a little tricky spot, so he's going to have to use something here, and I thought our Ice Spirit might hop on. We force out a lot of Elixir, and what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to tank that Bandit hit, and I wanted to kite that Royal Ghost, but unfortunately I did mess up the placement. He's going to use this Night Witch on this side, and I think the Firecracker should completely die. We don't have to worry too much about that Night Witch, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle another Goblin Drill opposite lane. He wants to go in on the right. We're going to go opposite lane. We're playing a cycle deck. We'll go ahead and use the Evo Bomber in the back. We can also go ahead and poison this Firecracker off of the map. We don't want to have to deal with that Firecracker. Unfortunately, the Firecracker does go to the other side, but we can just use a Tesla. We're going to go ahead and use our Mighty Miner like this. We're going to go ahead and Goblin Drill again, guys. And we can also go with our Bomber here, too. We can also go with our Log to help out. We shouldn't lose our tower here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Evo Tesla now, and we're going to be in Goblin Drill range. I'm going to switch up the Goblin Drill placement so he doesn't expect this. And we're going to go ahead and use our Skeletons to help clean up all of this. Goblin Drill should get a couple of hits, and we're going to be in poison range now, guys. I'm going to use my poison, and the Firecracker will get taken out. There's 7 seconds left in the game. We can use our Log, and we're going to use a high Tesla to stop that Electro Giant, and just like that, we take the win. So we found out what deck the opponent was playing, and we found out how we want to counter him. With cycle decks, you usually want to go opposite lane against Electro Giant. It's a very good play. Usually people run Bowler with Electro Giant, I would say. Bowler is a very popular combination with Electro Giant, and it becomes very good in double and triple Elixir. I would also say if you're running the Dagger Duchess, the Dagger Duchess is going to be better in single Elixir time, because in double and triple Elixir time, the opponents are going to have more troops to spam. But we're going to cycle a Goblin Drill on the left side, and what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to get back to our Tesla. So I'm going to use the Tesla like this. I want to try to get that King Tower activation. It was very close, but unfortunately we didn't get it. We will be able to, though, off of that Firecracker, and we don't really take any damage here. The opponent here is going to be playing another beatdown deck. I'm going to go ahead and pressure with the Mighty Miner to try and force some Elixir out. And we want to try to get a good lead in single Elixir. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to pop the Mighty Miner ability. we have a half health Mighty Miner, so he might do some nice damage. We also force out the wall breakers, guys, so that's very nice. We're going to go ahead and use the Goblin Drill here. It doesn't really matter on what side because our Dagger Duchess is going to take this knight out, and now the opponent is going to go with a Firecracker. So when the opponent has Firecracker, you always want to try to go for that King Tower activation. We can go ahead and use our Tesla like this to get that King Tower activation, and I'm going to go ahead and use our Mighty Miner too to help take out that Goblin Giant. We don't want to take too many hits from that Goblin Giant. We could also go with an Evo Bomber at the bridge like this, and it should get some hits. I wanted to see what the opponent does there, though, and our Dagger Duchess should be able to take out that Firecracker. Not a very good knight by the opponent. We're going to go ahead and actually use a defensive Goblin Drill. I don't want to risk taking any hits from those Evo Wall Breakers, and this is a very weird deck from the opponent because he has Goblin Giant and Evo Wall Breakers. So he's actually going to go with the Goblin Giant again, and we're going to use our Evo Tesla here, guys. Very nice Evo Tesla, zapping everything. And now what we can do is we could go opposite lane here just to pressure our opponent a little more, and we're going to go Skeletons too. We can poison this Musketeer off of the map. That'll be a nice poison. It will fully take out the Musketeer. When you use a poison, you always want to make sure that the edge of the thing you're poisoning is pretty much on the edge. Like, you want to make sure that the edge of the poison, like, is on the thing that you're poisoning, pretty much. We'll go ahead and Goblin Drill here too, Mighty Miner, because if the Musketeer was in the middle of the poison, it would probably survive it. We're going to go ahead and use a Bomber like this. We're going to go ahead and Ice Spirit too. We can use another poison here on the Firecracker. Nice Bomber, getting some hits on that Musketeer too, and I don't think he's going to get any hits here, guys. We're slowly chipping at that tower. I'm going to go ahead and cycle another Goblin Drill. We can actually use our Skeletons. I'm going to pressure with an Evo Bomber here too. We are getting into double elixir, so his deck is going to become a little bit better here. I'm going to use the Mighty Miner. We can also cycle a Log and a Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and cycle my Tesla. Let's use another Goblin Drill. I'm going to switch up the spot this time, and I'm going to use another poison here, guys. I don't know how he's going to break through here. I don't think he's going to be able to. We're going to be back to another evolved Tesla. I'm going to cycle an Ice Spirit now. We can go in with another Goblin Drill. We have a very fast cycle with this deck, and that's another reason why I like cycle decks. You can always get back to another answer for your opponent. There's different ways to defend with cycle decks. You don't always have to use your Tesla. Let me give you an example here, guys. We can just use our Mighty Miner and Evo Bomber to take this out. We can cycle a Log, and look at how the Evo Bomber splashed against that Firecracker. That's a very nice play, and it's a very good play with cycle decks. So he actually gets one Wall Breaker hit, but we're going to be in Poison Log range. We're going to put the Poison Log down. And I like to pay attention to how much damage the spells do. I think Poison does about 320. We can check when we go into the next game. But that was against Goblin Giant. Cool Goblin Giant deck there. That guy had a nice Royal Champion finish. And we'll hop into the next game with this deck. We'll see what we have in our starting hand. We're here against Cody B. We have a Tesla. We want to save that. We have Skeletons. We could cycle the Skeletons. We could also cycle our Log. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the Log on the Spirit Goblins. He decides to play that. We'll see what we're playing against here. It looks like we're going to be playing against another cycle deck. I'm going to go ahead and use my Tesla because he uses Bomb Tower. Why not? If he does go in with Wall Breakers, which I think he might have Wall Breakers, we're going to be able to defend against that. We can go ahead and cycle a Poison because we do have the Dagger Duchess, and that's what I was talking about here with the Poison. You want to make sure the Musketeer is at the edge like this, and he's going to have arrows too. I'm really not too sure what the opponent's playing here, but the Poison will take all of that out. And now I'm thinking we could go Mighty Miner in the back. I'm actually going to go ahead and use my Mighty Miner like this on defense, and he might have, does he have Zappies? No, he's going to have the Spear Goblins. We're going to go ahead and use the Mighty Miner, Skeletons, and I'm going to go with a Goblin Drill on the counterattack. We could go Evo Bomber. We're actually going to use the Evo Bomber because he put the Bomb Tower like that, and I think we could get some chip damage. We get one hit, maybe two hits, we'll see. We get more than two hits with the Evo Bomber because the bomb does bounce. very nicely there against this guy, Mr. Cody B. And now we know that he is Giant Skeleton. He has some weird cards. We're going to go ahead and use a log. The log's going to do a little bit of damage on that tower, take it down to 21, 24. We could go in with another Goblin Drill. We could also switch up the lanes to apply some opposite lane pressure. That's a good play sometimes too. Usually you want to focus on one tower, but if they're playing something like Golem, you want to go with the other tower. And it looks like we might have made this guy give up. We're going to go with the log. We're going to go with the bomber. We'll go ahead and use a Mighty Miner at the bridge. I think that's going to be a good game. We made this guy give up. But it looks like he had Giant Skeleton, Arrows, Miner, Musketeer. What else did he have? He had Bomb Tower too, so a pretty weird deck. He had a pretty heavy deck. Against heavy decks, when you're using cycle decks, you can always go opposite lane, guys. So we can go Evo Bomber, Skeletons, as long as you have good counters. I like saving my poison too. If your opponent has a ton of Swarm, you can always save your poison. Don't let your opponent bait you out with a pump. If you really need a poison, make sure you hold your poison. And double and triple elixir, when you can cycle more poisons, you can use it on defense, and then you can use it on the opponent's pump or something like that if you choose to do that. But if you have very good defense, if you know how to defend with your poison and stuff like that, you should have no problem winning against decks like 3 Musketeers. There's a 3 Musketeer deck with Minion Horde. That's pretty popular. We're here against Juice from Delta Squad. We can cycle a bomber in the back. We'll cycle a log. We can try to get the King Tower activation off of this guy here. I'm going to use the Ice Spirit like this. I actually messed up the Ice Spirit, but we can place our skeletons like this and try to get the King Tower activation. Obviously, we're not going to. We'll go Goblin Drill like this. We're back to our Evo Bomber because we cycled him in the beginning, which you always want to cycle your evolutions, guys. We're going to get a couple of hits here. I think we get about 3 hits. And that baby dragon should get taken out pretty easily. I don't think we need anything else. Okay, baby dragon gets like fully countered. That's pretty OP. I'm going to go ahead and Tesla too. Cycle my Tesla. Not too bad of a play. We might get the King Tower activation here too, guys. Very close. I'm going to use the skeletons like this. I'm going to go Mighty Miner too. Actually messed up the placement there. My bad, guys. We weren't fast enough on that firecracker. It was close. Let's try to get it still though. We can still get it. We'll go bomber, I guess. Yeah, we can go bomber like this. Should get the King Tower activation, easy peasy, nice. We can go with a Goblin Drill on this side because the bomber does survive. Tesla will take out our bomber though, unfortunately. We'll go Goblin Drill on the left, cycle our Goblin Drill. Now we know that he has that Valkyrie out of cycle, so if we cycle fast enough, we'll cycle our Skeletons, we'll cycle our Mighty Miner. If we cycle fast enough, guys, we'll use a Goblin Drill in the other lane. He's going to have no counter for that, and I think he's going to be playing Graveyard. We could cycle our Tesla here, but I feel like we don't really need it. I think I will, though. We're going to go Tesla, and we're back to our Goblin Drill. He used Valkyrie, remember, guys? So we're going to use our Goblin Drill like this, and we're going to use our Ice Spirit. He has no Valkyrie in cycle, guys, so this might be a lot of damage here. We could also go with our Poison. He is back now, but we get some nice damage there. We're going to go ahead and Mighty Miner. I think he's going to go in with that Graveyard now. We have the Poison for the Graveyard. We're back to another Goblin Drill. I'm going to go ahead and use it like this. We're going to go ahead and Ice Spirit too. And we out-cycled the opponent's counter, which is a very good play there. I'm going to go ahead and cycle a log. I'm going to go ahead and cycle an Evo Bomber. And I'm going to use another Goblin Drill. I'm hoping to get some nice chip damage. We get a couple of hits there. Very nice. And we have another Goblin Drill down. Unfortunately, the Tesla will take out our Evo Bomber. I'm going to Tesla like this. I'll go Skeletons in the back. I want to try to out-cycle his Valkyrie again. We're going to go ahead and Goblin Drill. I think he might go in with that Graveyard now, guys. I don't know if he has it, but I don't think he's played all of his cards. We're getting some nice damage with that Goblin Drill. And he goes with the Tombstone in the back. Not a bad Tombstone. We're going to go with the Evo Bomber in the back. We want to try to out-cycle that Valkyrie. We'll go ahead and use it again. We could go with the Poison. I think he's trying to bait our Poison, guys. We're going to go ahead and Tesla like this. We can log. I think he's trying to bait it out for sure. Unless he doesn't have Graveyard. He might not. We might have to start cycling our Poisons here soon. We're going to go ahead and use the Goblin Drill. It's always good to switch up the spots, like I said, guys. We can go with the Poison, too. We'll go Ice Spirit. I think he might Does he have Graveyard? He still hasn't played it. Maybe he's just not playing it. We'll go ahead and use the Log Goblin Drill. I'm using the Evo Bomber like this to try to get some nice chip damage. The tower is so low, we're going to go with the Poison. That's going to be the win there, guys. And the reason that we pretty much won there, guys, was because we outcycled that Valkyrie. So that's a very good play. With cycle decks, you want to cycle faster than your opponent when they have their counter card like Valkyrie and Cycle. So we outcycled his Valkyrie and we were able to chip down his opponent. 100% win rate so far in this video. We've won every single game, and I hope that you guys are learning something. We're going to go with the Goblin Drill. He has Mini P.E.K.K.A. We can cycle a Bomber in the back. We'll go ahead and put it up a little bit higher. That way we can get some hits on this. We'll go ahead and Skeletons too. He's going to be super aggressive. That's a very aggressive play. We're going to go Mighty Miner in the back, guys. And if you are enjoying the video, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to comment if you have anything to say, guys. And make sure to subscribe if you want to see more tips, videos, more Clash Royale content like this. We're going to go ahead and Goblin Drill too. We'll cycle our Goblin Drill. We'll see what he has now for the Goblin Drill. We'll see what he decides to play. Okay, he has Mega Knight. I want to put an Evo Bomber at the bridge, but I feel like that would be a little bit too aggressive. We're going to go ahead and Tesla. We could try to get the King Tower activation here. We're going to see what he decides to do. Evo Bomber can counter a Goblin Barrel, guys, even if he puts it perfectly all around surrounding our tower. He's going to poison this again for some reason. We're going to go ahead and we're going to Ice Spirit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with the Goblin Drill again and Skeletons. I'm going to get a little bit aggressive here because he used everything. And I think he's just going to use a Mini P.E.K.K.A. So we're going to go ahead and Bomber at the bridge because I don't think he's going to have anything for this. And yeah, he doesn't. He just has nothing. He might just lose the tower. He got so aggressive with that Mega Knight that we were able to outcycle that Mega Knight, which is pretty much what you want to do with cycle decks, guys. We'll use a Tesla. We'll go ahead and log too, but we didn't really even need the log, and we pretty much have this game in the bag. Now all we want to do is focus on defending. We could send out a Goblin Drill opposite lane, which won't be too bad of a play. We could go Skeletons too, just to help out a little bit. And we wanted to save the Mighty Miner for that Mega Knight. We'll go ahead and Evo Bomber in the back. We're going to go ahead and Mega Knight like this. We can go ahead and use our Ice Spirit. We'll go ahead and use our Tesla. We'll go ahead and Skeletons up high. He's not going to be able to break through, guys. We're going to go ahead and use another Goblin Drill like this. And our Evo Bomber will be alive to get a little bit of chip damage. And look at our Evo Bomber go. He takes out the Skeletons. He takes out those archers. He's still alive. Evo Bomber doing a ton of work. And that's what happens when your opponent gets too aggressive. He is not going to be able to have enough elixir to defend. And his cards are way too heavy. So we've played against a lot of heavy decks in this video. But if you're playing against other cycle decks, you want to make sure that you hold your counters. You want to be pretty aggressive. You want to be chipping down their tower with your Goblin Drills and stuff like that. But I hope that you guys learned something from this video. Make sure to show your boys some love and support if you did. Make sure to leave a thumbs up. And yeah, guys, I hope this video helped. I hope that you guys are able to get a little bit better with cycle decks after watching this, guys. And thank you for all the support. I hope you're having a good morning or good night, whatever time it is for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.